Halle Berry is a name that has long symbolized talent, beauty, and resilience, a Hollywood icon whose career spans decades and whose performances have left audiences captivated and inspired. From her Oscar winning roles to her consistent dedication to her craft, Berry has not only achieved acclaim, but has also become one of the most respected actors of her generation. Beyond the awards and accolades, she has always stood out for her authenticity, for living life on her own terms and refusing to let anyone else define her. This quality, her fearless honesty, is something that resonates deeply with fans and observers alike. Recently, she reminded the world why she is more than just a celebrity, sharing a moment so real and bold that it instantly caught attention online, not through scandal or spectacle, but through a quiet, powerful honesty that spoke to anyone who has ever felt the pressure to hide who they truly are. The moment that captivated the world. Imagine a moment so unassuming that it almost goes unnoticed, yet so profound that it leaves an impression that lingers for days. That was the essence of Berry's recent post online. In her photograph, she is pictured simply enjoying a moment of peace in her backyard, smiling with a calmness that radiates contentment. There is no extravagant styling, no staged drama, and no spectacle meant to shock or entertain. Instead, the surprise comes from the words she shared alongside the image. In her caption, Berry spoke candidly about freedom, authenticity, and the importance of refusing to hide one's true self from the world. It was not a message designed to provoke or create headlines. It was a message that reflected a life lived with courage, honesty, and a commitment to inner truth. The simplicity of the moment is what made it remarkable. Berry reminded everyone that true boldness does not always roar. Sometimes it whispers in a way that resonates far deeper than any performance ever could. Why her message resonates. Boldness is often thought of as loud, attention-seeking, or dramatic. Society tends to equate courage with risk, spectacle, or confrontation, and people rarely associate it with quiet introspection or self-acceptance. Yet Berry's post demonstrates that the truest form of bravery comes not from shock value, but from honesty. By sharing her thoughts on authenticity and self-expression, she offered a reminder that being oneself fully, without apology, is one of life's most difficult yet rewarding acts. Adults, in particular, struggle with this kind of courage, often hiding their feelings, desires, and true identities behind masks designed to meet societal expectations. Berry's words challenge this instinct to conform, encouraging a radical form of self-respect that is as inspiring as it is necessary in a world where appearances often dominate perception. Boldness beyond appearances. What makes Berry's post striking is that its impact is entirely divorced from appearance. There is no shock factor in her attire, no attention-grabbing visuals. The power comes entirely from the authenticity of her voice. She spoke about confidence, self-expression, and the refusal to conform, reminding everyone that boldness is not measured by visibility or spectacle, but by the integrity of one's actions and the courage to honor one's own truth. This is a lesson that applies far beyond celebrity culture. Whether in personal relationships, social media, or professional life, people often feel pressured to perform for others, to curate an image that aligns with societal expectations. Berry's example demonstrates that the greatest strength lies in choosing honesty over approval, self-expression over conformity, and inner peace over fear of judgment. Facing judgment with grace. One of the most remarkable aspects of Berry's approach is the way she handles criticism. As someone who has spent decades in the public eye, navigating relentless media scrutiny and public opinion, she has faced challenges that would be overwhelming to most. Yet over time, she has cultivated a mindset grounded in self-respect and integrity, allowing her to navigate criticism with grace rather than defensiveness. Her recent post is a reflection of this approach. She was not reacting impulsively or attempting to make a point, but sharing a truth she has lived by for years. This is a vital lesson for anyone struggling with self-doubt. Barry's courage demonstrates that it is possible to acknowledge the opinions of others without letting them dictate your choices, your self-worth, or the way you express yourself. The freedom to age authentically. Another striking element of Barry's post is her fearless attitude toward aging. Society often imposes invisible rules about how individuals, particularly women, should present themselves as they grow older. Many feel pressure to conform, to diminish their boldness, or to shrink into invisibility. Barry defies these expectations with quiet determination. She shows that growing older is not a reason to retreat or compromise on self-expression. Her confidence and commitment to living authentically serve as a reminder that curiosity, self-expression, and vitality are timeless qualities. By embracing her life openly, she inspires others to see aging not as a limitation, but as an opportunity to grow, reflect, and continue living boldly. Her courage is a testament to the fact that self-expression and confidence are not bound by age, they are bound by conviction. The universal lesson of authenticity. At the heart of Barry's message is a truth that resonates universally. Authenticity, honesty, and self-respect are more valuable than external validation. In a culture dominated by social media, where performance often replaces reality, her words are refreshing in their simplicity. She encourages everyone to examine the pressures in their own lives, the expectations, the judgments, and the self-imposed limitations, and to ask whether these forces are preventing them from living fully. Barry's example demonstrates that the choice to be oneself is not only liberating but transformative. By prioritizing truth over conformity, she reminds us that living authentically is not merely a personal benefit, it is a revolutionary act in a society that often rewards sameness over individuality. Quiet bravery, as a model Barry's courage, exemplifies the power of quiet bravery. She does not need drama, spectacle, or provocation to make an impact. Her approach is calm, grounded, and deeply human. This quiet bravery makes her example even more compelling. True courage, she demonstrates, is not about how many people notice you, but about how firmly you uphold your truth and how consistently you act with integrity. Her post illustrates that even small personal acts of honesty can create ripples that touch many lives. Standing firm in one's values and expressing oneself authentically is an act of courage that transcends fame, wealth, and public recognition. It is a principle that applies to everyone, in every walk of life. The ripple effect of authenticity. The response to Barry's post was immediate and widespread, reflecting the resonance of her words. Fans flooded the comments with messages of appreciation, sharing how her openness inspired them to reflect on their own lives. This ripple effect is the true power of authenticity. By living openly, Barry encouraged others to examine their own choices, to embrace their individuality, and to approach life with a sense of integrity and courage. Influence, in its most meaningful form, comes from example rather than persuasion, and Barry embodies this principle perfectly. Her honesty motivates others to live with intention and authenticity, creating a cultural impact far beyond what any performative gesture could achieve, redefining boldness in modern life. In contemporary culture, boldness is often misunderstood. It is equated with extremes, theatrics, and attention-seeking behavior. Barry challenges this narrow definition, offering a new model of courage, one rooted in authenticity, integrity, and self-expression. By living according to her own values and refusing to compromise for the sake of public opinion, she shows that true boldness is rare and timeless. It is not measured by spectacle, but by the steadfastness with which one embraces life on one's own terms. Barry's post is a gentle but powerful reminder that courage can be quiet, that influence can be subtle, and that honesty can disrupt conventional expectations in ways that are profoundly meaningful. The freedom to live without permission. Perhaps the most significant lesson from Barry's post is that no one needs permission to be themselves. Life is not a performance for others, and the right to authenticity belongs to every individual, regardless of age, societal expectation, or public opinion. Her message is a call to embrace self expression as a personal choice, free from external constraint. By living openly and without apology, Barry demonstrates that the most radical, empowering decision one can make is to honor oneself. This lesson is universally applicable, offering guidance to anyone who has ever felt pressured to conform, doubted their self worth, or feared judgment. Choosing authenticity is not only liberating, it is transformative, shaping the way we experience our lives and the world around us. Courage as a lifestyle. What makes Halle Berry's example so compelling is that her courage is not a momentary act, it is a lifestyle. Her post reflects decades of intentional living, a commitment to truth and integrity that guides her choices both publicly and privately. This consistency is part of what makes her voice so inspiring. She embodies the principles she speaks about, demonstrating that courage, authenticity, and self expression are not occasional acts, but ways of being. For anyone striving to live fully and intentionally, Barry offers a blueprint for how to navigate life with confidence, grace, and honesty, reminding us that the path to fulfillment begins with being true to ourselves. Lessons beyond celebrity. Barry's message extends far beyond the world of Hollywood. While the context of her post involves social media and public visibility, the underlying lessons are universal. Her courage is a guide for anyone seeking to live authentically, whether navigating career pressures, personal relationships, or societal expectations. By prioritizing integrity over approval, self expression over conformity, and honesty over fear, she shows that personal freedom and fulfillment are attainable goals. The simplicity of her approach belies its profundity. Courage is available to all, and living authentically is a choice that anyone can make, regardless of circumstance. Confidence in one's own truth. Underlying Barry's message is a fundamental principle. Confidence comes from knowing and honoring one's own truth. Her post illustrates that living authentically is not about performance, validation, or external recognition, but about being rooted in one's values and convictions. This approach allows for inner peace, resilience, and joy, even amidst criticism or societal pressure. By modeling this mindset, Barry encourages her audience to cultivate self assurance grounded in authenticity, reminding us that true confidence emerges not from appearances, but from living in alignment with one's own identity and principles. The radical power of simplicity. One of the most striking aspects of Barry's example is the radical power of simplicity. In a world where boldness is often equated with extravagance, she demonstrates that profound influence can come from small, honest acts. Her choice to share a quiet moment, accompanied by heartfelt reflection, stands in stark contrast to the expectation of constant spectacle. This simplicity amplifies the impact of her message, showing that courage, authenticity, and integrity are not dependent on dramatics or attention, but on the quiet, consistent practice of living true to oneself. Barry's approach teaches that sometimes the simplest gestures carry the deepest lessons. Embracing life fully. Ultimately, Barry's post is a celebration of life itself. It is a reminder that embracing who we are, living authentically, and honoring our own values allows us to experience life more fully and meaningfully. Her courage is not performative, it is a lived philosophy, a quiet insistence that we all deserve to live without fear, shame, or self-doubt. By embodying this principle, she invites her audience to examine their own lives, to shed pretense, and to choose authenticity in both small and significant ways. In doing so, she transforms a single moment online into a timeless lesson about self-expression, courage, and the extraordinary power of being oneself. Conclusion: living authentically as the ultimate boldness. Halle Berry's recent post may have seemed modest at first glance, a serene, reflective moment shared online, but its message carries lasting significance. It reminds us that true boldness is not about appearance, drama, or performance. It is about honesty, self expression, and the courage to refuse to let others dictate how we live. Barry demonstrates that the most radical, inspiring, and empowering act is simply to be oneself, fully and unapologetically. Her example transcends celebrity culture, offering guidance, encouragement, and inspiration to anyone navigating societal pressures, criticism, or personal doubt. Through her quiet bravery, she reminds us that authenticity is revolutionary, and that embracing one's own truth is the boldest and most transformative choice of all.